afternoon, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. It is Wednesday, and I figured I would give an update on how progress is going with these systems. Had a bit of a chilly night last night, so it was a good test to see how some of these plants did. I did not have anything that looks like it took any damage in these systems, which that's good. I'm not sure if the water running, constantly moving is helping anything, but at the very least, it looks like everything is in one piece, so that's good. It's probably going to be a slightly shorter video, but I'm just going to go through everything and talk about things I've learned, things that have helped. And I'll start with this tower right here. I did end up getting some of the GreenStalk supports. I got them on the Black Friday sale actually because they were such a good deal, but they do have a little bit more resilience than the individual pot trellises like these guys here. Thankfully, I'm going to be using a mix of both. It doesn't hurt to still use the pot trellises, but for bigger plants like zucchinis and stuff like that, they're just going crazy. It was just a better decision, I think, to go with the heavier supports. As you can see, I have some cue ball zucchinis on here that are about ready to pick. They're all hidden deep in there, but I have maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 of them, give or take. Here's another one. This one's probably the biggest one, and I had one yesterday. Here's another one right here. They're everywhere. But the one I had yesterday was about 5 inches in diameter, and I put it in a soup. It was delicious. I have not had any trouble with bugs still, no insect damage at all. A little bit of wind damage here and there, and a little bit of stress from me pushing these things up and over this new trellis. So that's to be expected, but everything should recover just fine. I have had one casualty. I had this cucumber, actually. It's a quick snack cucumber, just up and die, and this was before the cold snap. It just went limp on me. I'm gonna just guess potentially root rot, and I think what I did wrong was I planted it too far back where the water's constantly pouring down, and I should have probably planted it closer to the front. What I need to understand with these things is that they don't need 24/7 water, but they do need roots that have access to that water. But as long as the main stem is planted back and away from where the water runs down, that lessens the chance of any rotting at the base. So I think that's what happened here, because this cucumber is doing just fine. There's little cucumbers ripening on it, and I have actually pushed this up and through. So here's the top leaf. It's looking great. One thing I did do, hopefully it was a smart idea, is I took a cutting of this as it was wilting, took a cutting and I stuck it inside. And I also recently took a cutting for a clone of my Oswald eggplant, which I'll show you guys here in a little bit. And it looks like the cutting that I took of this it's a lot more alive than this. It's perked up and it could root, and I might just end up being able to replace it with its clone. So when I put the clone in here, I'm going to put it further up front so that the main stem is not constantly sitting in running water. This is the one finicky part about hydroponics, and a lot of people argue, is that it's easy to get root rot, and it really is, but you need to understand your system and how things work. A lot of these other plants I planted up closer to the edge. I mean, even that cucumber is a little bit closer to the edge than the original. So it's just a learning experience as we go. My pepper plant's up here doing fine. I think it got down to like 38 overnight, so nothing too crazy. Lettuces are doing really awesome. As you can see, the leaves are huge. So I'm probably gonna have a salad here pretty soon. I know I was looking at the broccolis, all the cabbages and things are doing great, carrots. I actually saw a head on one of the broccolis. I believe this one. Already a head forming on that. That's awesome. I have not had these systems going for very long, so that is excellent progress. This is a new tower I just got on the Black Friday sale, and then I have one more on the way. It came with the seed houses, the new GreenStalk seed houses, so I'm testing those out. Looks like the basil here took a tiny bit of a hit from the cool. They're very sensitive to cold weather, so they much prefer it warm, you know, probably more like 45 and higher. So they'll probably survive, most of them, but I'll just probably have to take clones and stuff of the ones that really survive and thrive to replace the ones that do die back. The strawberry tower's doing pretty good. They're slowly making progress. It's been a little chilly, so they're not going too crazy yet. But the good news is that they are growing, and as long as they have a few going at any given time, I can always take runners and clone the runners in each of these cells as we progress. So that's good news there. Tomato tower is going insane. I have not had to put any of the GreenStalk supports up on this yet, but I'm going to. I already know that I'm going to, because once these tomatoes start forming, which they already are forming, they're going to weigh this thing way down. These plants are going to just bend. They need something really supportive, more so than these pot trellises. So what I would recommend, if anybody does want to do this, that I would strongly advise you get a few of the GreenStalk supports as well. You don't need them on every tier, but maybe just the ones where you're growing, you know, very top heavy plants and things that are gonna, you know, potentially cause some strain on the tower. So, and on the plant itself. But like on the top here, these are little Sicily slicers. They're not gonna get all that big. I'm gonna keep monitoring that because I'm really curious about everything. Actually, in that pink tower over there too, I got some new seeds that are supposed to be much more compact. A bunch of micro dwarf varieties. There's one called Mini Marzano. There's one called Purple Boy. There's one called Florida Petite, and then I think another one called Cherry Falls. And they're all supposed to stay very small, like the Baker's Creek Orange Hat tomatoes or like the Tiny Tim. So I will be monitoring that as we go, if they even germinate. It's been very chilly, so I'm hoping that with the seed houses and temperature starting to warm up a little bit, things will improve. But yeah, it's this tower is going crazy with growth. Just so much lush green growth. There are plenty of clusters of flowers in here. I could probably pinpoint quite a few for you guys. I didn't want to take up the video with too much of that, but they are definitely all on their way. Over here it's kind of the same deal. I had more tomatoes planted over here, and there's flower clusters all over the place now. I can tell that they're getting ready to go nuts. On the micro dwarf tomatoes, I have plenty of tomatoes actually ripening. And then this is my Oswald eggplant that I took that clone from. And this is the Oswald that I'm trying to take good care of. It's beautiful, shiny, and it looks like it came from the grocery store. I'm trying to keep it that way. If you look up here, I got another one that just pollinated, and then I've got another one here that just pollinated. That's gonna actually, that right there is gonna blow up into another one. So like I said, with big heavy plants like this, I'm gonna have to put a support around this to make sure that you know, nothing collapses and that we keep this garden going in one piece. As you can see up here, I have more ripening Orange Hat tomatoes. It's a micro dwarf, and I have one here that is fully ripe. I was saving it. Might do a taste test video, maybe my next video. But these micro dwarfs are beautiful for these towers. You can grow just about anything, and I'm trying to prove a point with that, but it's going to take more maintenance. It just depends on how much maintenance you want to put in, time and effort. If you're really low maintenance type of person, I would strongly suggest the micro dwarfs, because even some determinants and dwarf tomatoes still get to 3 to 5 feet, and so that would take maintenance. The micro dwarves are also beautiful because they're not determinate or indeterminate. I guess they're more of an indeterminate type in the aspect that they just keep growing more tomatoes. I've known people that have had the same micro dwarf tomato for 2 years. So, you know, in that perspective, it's pretty good having the same one. I did want to show you the sun gold. That's my only indeterminate that I have growing on the tower, because I wanted to test an indeterminate to see if I just kept topping it, if I could manage it. But these tomatoes are looking beautiful. I mean, they're huge. I know sun golds, if treated well, they get good nutrients. They grow a ton, and not only that, but they get super sweet and they get a pretty good size, bigger than some grape tomatoes. But I could go up and show you in the cracks and crevices, but there are clusters of sun gold tomatoes all the way up. That is a very beautiful and awesome thing for a gardener to see, especially when you're testing stuff. So I'm pretty happy about that. And I've got another little eggplant I'm testing out here. It's patio baby, I believe. So they grow like eggplants that grow to be about that big each, but they grow an abundance of it. So I was figuring maybe I could use that to make little, I don't know, fried eggplant bites or something. Probably figure something out, or stir fries. I'm also doing my typical cracky, and I'm growing, I don't remember what that is. I think it's a delicious hunt tomato. But the cool thing is that I was able to take a clone of that tomato, and I was able to get my pipe system back up. I have decided to actually get that main pipe system back up and running, so I did. So I was gonna go show that real quick. So I'm plan on reinforcing this thing with wood this time. I'm gonna buy some lumber and kind of reinforce this thing. So if we get another hurricane, it's not just gonna wiggle and wobble and collapse everything again. This guy right here, I'm probably gonna decommission, and then I'm gonna put some pavers down on some sand to get it level. And then I'm gonna get some more of those GreenStalk towers. And actually, I didn't tell you, but over there where those two totes were that I was just showing you, the crackies, I'm gonna put 2 more towers there as well. I'm gonna redo my first 2 reservoirs. I'm gonna redo it with that system over there, the yellow and black containers. It's just so much nicer looking. It's very easy to work with. And it seems like the 45 gallons, you know, because they're 15 gallons each, I connected 3. So 45-gallon reservoir is working very well for 4 systems. So I'm going to do the same thing here, and I'll have 8 systems going on the patio. And then I'll have another maybe 3 to 4 systems going in this row right here, which should provide ample amounts of food, depending, I mean, either or. If you buy the original tier, that's 30 plants. If you buy the leaf, that's 42 plants. Or you could buy the Inventor's Bundle and get a little healthy mix of both. Either way, yeah, the potential for growing tons of plants is there. You know, I'll have over just about 300 plants if I get 8 of these towers up and running over here, and then 4 more towers over here. So yeah, it's a potential for 400 plants almost, if not a little more. That's just insane, the output that you can get in such little space. So I'm just also trying to keep this at a point where, you know, it's low maintenance for anybody who wants to do this. It's a little bit of work up front, but then less work later. Just basically checking your pH, checking your EC, which is your solids, your electrical conductivity, or AKA TDS, and then pH, make sure your acidity is not too high or too low, and then really keeping them full as the water drains and as the plants aspirate. So just little basic things. And I can tell you right now, I built both of those trellises. The PVC trellis is significantly easier. Price wise, it's probably cheaper to build the wood one, but the PVC one is much quicker, just because of the fact that I could connect everything up like that. But so yeah, over here I've got some interesting varieties. I've got Chadwick Cherry. It's just a typical grape tomato. Looks like there's a couple formed right there. This one is a Oliver, I think it's Oliver's green tomato. It's a Baker Creek one that has just been a powerhouse. It has been alive for a very long time. I've been very surprised at this thing's desire to live, so it deserves this spot very much. It's been alive since before Hurricane Milton and before Helene. I think it's crazy. This is a Cherokee Purple. This is a classic one. I have to have a Cherokee Purple every year, and already I've got a pretty cool cluster. Yeah, if I can focus on it. pretty cool cluster of tomatoes on one bunch already. That's impressive. Then there's another Cherokee Purple over there that just has been kind of slow going, but seems to be picking up speed now that I got this situated. I got a few better bush, just so they easy determinants that I can grow without having to do too much trellising. And then a few cuttings of different varieties from either over there or just cuttings of the existing ones that I have over here. And then this one right here is the typical, well, not typical, but last year I grew one called Pianolo del Vesuvio, and it's the tomatoes that grow on Mount Vesuvius, aka long keeper tomatoes. You can actually keep them in your kitchen with no AC or anything for up to almost a year. I was almost able to keep mine for about 8 months before it started rotting. So I did a test with last season. I was very impressed. So they're worth having a couple at least. And then I have 2 spaces left. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. My sister sent me some seeds, so I may try doing at least one of the seeds she sent me. And then other than that, Hydroponic Progress, I would say that's what I've got going right now. I have had a few requests to have a step-by-step tutorial on when I do another tower, and I think replacing my reservoir and building this new tower I have being shipped to me right now is going to be the best time to do it, because I'll be able to show you guys step-by-step you know, how I do the reservoirs, and then also a step-by-step on assembling the tower, putting your foundation down, getting the insect barrier placed around the border of the brick, and then just making this thing as foolproof as possible, so that you know you can reference that video anytime you need to build another one, and it's working the best way that I know how possible, you know, without too much trial and error for whoever wants to do it. So other than that, guys, I guess this video did turn into a little lengthier one than I thought, but if you're still watching, I appreciate that very much. I would very much appreciate a like and subscribe, and as always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a great rest of your week. And if I don't make another video before the holidays, you know, happy holidays to everyone, and I wish you and your family the best. Take care for now. Bye.